All I'm trying to say is there's no room in sales to start.
Hi. Thank you. Hello. And enjoy. Hi, Liv. Hi. Welcome to Danielle Costa Dark Gallery. Come on in. I've been very persistent bordering on annoying, really. I could not ask for better guidance. Okay, so tell me, what did she say? She said she's heard of my page.
Okie dokie. I'm so sorry. I did all that and jump right on here. Guess what? With no headpiece. None. None, 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 none. Hello, lovelies. Hello, my loves. Love bugs. Excuse me. Have a little chit chat with y'all while I am. I'm gonna try to finish this last piece of rib. I think my attitude. I mean, what? There's no attitude. Oh, that's bad. Y'all didn't hear that. That's bad. Bad, bad. Um, Lord, you trying to say I have a bad attitude? Where in the world did that come from? Lord have mercy. That was funny to me, y'all, because y'all don't understand. Bad attitude? No. Okay. All right. Now I did my sound check and everything. I'm on here, y'all. I'm on here. How they say it on the thing, the truck drivers? Not 10-4, but how it go, y'all? Um, breaker, y'all in here. Breaker, y'all in here. Oh my God. Let me stop playing. Somebody say, oh my gosh, lady. Came on here with the giggling. They'll get mad when you happy. As long as you sad, everybody all right. You fine tune with they movies and what they have going on. Long as they words about you can be a lie and still be true in other people's eyes, gravitating to what they deem you were, then everybody's good. Well, we have joy over here, and I'm gonna keep it. I don't care who don't like it. So welcome to Prophetess Natalie. Our little chit chat. What is ordinary love to you? What is ordinary love to you? Is that what you're hoping for? Is that what you prayed for? What is ordinary love to you? Do you think that a person has to do something so elusive, and extravagant to show you or prove to you that they love you? What does that mean? When a person says, I'm willing to put myself through some sort of pain or some sort of, excuse me, okay, some sort of pain or some sort of um, public embarrassment or, something in regards to whatever they think that would be something that would make you happy. And some people actually do tell people, well, I know that you over so and so if you do this, or I know if you do that, or if you go do this to them. Even you folks that supposed to be supposed to be grown folks, but yet you be out here um convincing the person that you with after they done somehow you blackmailing them or left somebody else or something. Now you want to make it seem as if, you know, for them to prove they love to you, they undying, unfailing love to you. That bull crap. But anyway, you put out y'all already see you should see where it's going, right? Ooh, you should see where it's going. But nevertheless, he's dumb enough to do something he can't come back from, which is you tell him, because I don't see what man in that has a brain, something in that forehead of his, that the part that go in the skull, that part. Okay, so I don't know which side function in that category, because for a man to tell me that I have to put another woman or man online or publicly humiliate another person in order for somehow that to prove that they love me is a problem. The fact that they would do that is a problem that you don't see coming. Because exactly if a man does that about somebody else, he definitely go end up doing something to you in the long run. Believe it. Nevertheless, 'cause some of y'all have to be showed before y'all believe anything. Some of the Lord just have to put y'all through the wrinkle. So then you can't go around talking about somebody lying. That's not true. That's not real. That's not good. That's not fake. Nevertheless, um, I strolled across something that was. I really do. I have a headache on like my right side all of a sudden. It gave me a headache. It did. It gave me a headache because at the moment that I read it, y'all bear with me because I'm gonna try. I know y'all be fussing at me, telling me I need to eat right and all this kind of stuff. And here it is. So y'all know my proof for the day. Well, you can't see. Let me see. Let me get you some light, baby. Let me get you some light. I'm working on it, but it's still there. But I'm working on it. I'm almost done. There was some bread. I did have some bread, but maybe that's why I'm full. I don't know. Cause I did try to anyway, but just showing y'all, cause y'all be think I be pulling y'all chain. I be pulling y'all chain. No, I ain't pulling chain, pulling chain. I'm eating. Yeah, first all that. The only thing was going on with me, y'all, is I was little Miss Dum Dum Dum, knowing full well that after I saw what magically appeared, that I decided that, uh, it's still early. I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to eat this ice. I'm going to drink all this cold stuff because it's hot here. And it came with a vengeance. because I heard Christy say the same thing. And I don't even be seeing her post, and it came on there, and I was laughing. I was like, now I don't feel bad because she was talking about herself, and she was like, that bad bitch came in with a vengeance, and I was like, oh, I wasn't the only one over here grabbing into planes. See, it ain't had nothing to do with no outside sources. I ain't gonna even bring this in because my conversation gonna be happening tonight. Y'all keep that over there to another speed. I don't even want to hear it. But baby, baby. No, that didn't have nothing to do with nobody else. It didn't have nothing to do with me having no kind of secrets or nothing else. Just like I said, every woman, young, old, whatever they are, if they still, then they deal with some sort of something. Okay? Period. So that was my problem, y'all. And I paid dearly for it because I went to chomping and chomping and chomping and drinking cold stuff, and I know, and that is what I'm trying to get at too. I'm working on because when it's hot, nothing warm does anything for me, and that is I've been trying. I tried the coffee. I tried and it's only I don't know how y'all do the coffee thing, but it's only so much coffee you should be drinking in a day. However, it just did. And then with the coffee and the teas, I don't know. They started giving me dry mouth and stuff at some time. And I'm not one of those people with dry mouth stuff. So I ain't trying to pick up nothing that don't even just now. Wow. Okay. But anyway, that's what had happened. And I had got to all the way to I didn't want to hear nobody. I didn't want to hear nobody breathe. You hear me? I was like, oh my lord. Then I told y'all I had the thing about way I had to carry that thing all the way from New Mexico in my bag, okay? And I was like, if she had seen what I did, baby, she probably would have been laughing all on her tummy, like, mommy, see, see. But baby, it's some I was laying here and some said, Natalie, get the hot patchy thingy, Bob. And I was sitting over there. I wrestled with that too, because I was like, I don't want to be sitting up there smelling like menthol lady. You know how old people be. I was like, it don't have none of that. Oh God. So I got to say, y'all, it was so funny. I got to say, I was cracking my own self up. I got to thinking, I put the patch, I tried to put the patch because I was like, well, it's probably not going to do anything for me if I do all that because my little brother don't like things like that. And baby, I'd be the one to get him. I heard that boy coming that door. Okay, he was in there sitting down. I'm finna rock his whole world because I was gonna tell him to come in here and put the hot flash thing on my back for me because I needed it to go on there right. And I just found all kind of way. I just said, you know what? I'll just go ahead and put it on my stomach and just go from there. Because if I call that boy here, boy, he probably would have had all kind of fits. You hear? It's different with my mama, but I'm his sister. I would have been covered up, but he wasn't even trying to feel that, none of that. But anyway, just making y'all laugh. But I love my little brother. He is just so. That's my baby. That is my baby, y'all. We both grown. Don't worry about it. He's 30 something. Yes, but um. So that's the explanation for y'all to understand because everybody was thinking, uh, no, honey, I wasn't nowhere near no death. But honey, when I tell you, sometimes when them planes hit you, when you sit your behind up that plane drinking that cold stuff, men have no idea. They think they do, but they have no idea. And at that point, because I don't usually have pain associated with it. Honestly, I don't. Um, it's just I know that I have to take my proper rest or whatever, and I can't be getting all upset and stuff like that. Nevertheless, but yeah, that whole cold thing is just. Mm-mm. I was ready. Hey, anybody, if anybody ever said anything? But anyway, y'all. And then I got on here. Y'all make me feel all better. So see, ordinary love. Me and y'all have to have some ordinary love. For those moments. And I be looking on the thing with the influencers, and they like they spouses be coming in there when it's for them, and they be giving them all these goody snacks and all this stuff. Well, baby, let me go to warn you right now. That don't work for me. And that is not gonna make me happy either. Now, if you rub my tummy, I will be so happy. Especially when, ooh, if your man, your husband, have them hands. Oh my God, they see you in heaven. Ew, baby, just put you right on the sleep right there. You just know, just and you just, oh my God. But yeah, yeah, it's real good coming there with the flowers and all that. But if I go to eating that chocolate and stuff, you ain't gonna like me. I don't know what these young ones be on, but that's a no. Flowers, yes. The whole chocolates and stuff, even though I love chocolate, that is not the right time. So with me, the back rub or rub my tummy, give me a nice little snuggle hug, and just let me rest. I'm good. I'm good. You won't hear from me. No nothing. I will give you no problems from those couple of days. Notice I said from those couple of days. Just playing, y'all. Just playing. But I love y'all. Thank y'all for showing up. But what is what is ordinary love? Yeah, when I get back on my feet, you gonna get it, buddy. No, just playing. Yeah, oh baby, hit the floor. There she go. What is ordinary love? They said that they were, I don't know, forget the word that they use or whatever now, but they said that they're not something according to, I don't know. But they'll get lips with your name tattooed on their body so everybody know that it's yours. Out of all the internet blunders, baby, y'all be yes. Y'all done hit the climb. Y'all done. I ain't gonna say climb. It's a decline in psychology. Yes, psychological. Because the same one got their name and the lips tattooed. It's another woman kissing most of them tattooed in that lip. Let me tell you. But baby daddy, he dead and in his grave, so don't worry about it. Get back to him. He dead. That's it is very much okay. If I was dating him years ago before I got pregnant with my second oldest, and I noticed he used to always say to me, because I made him wait before we had, you know, relations. And he was like, you just wait. He used to always, every time he got rid of me, he used to say, you just wait. I'm gonna make you kiss that tattoo. I was like, what? Who tattoo? Oh God. I looked at my auntie one day, but I didn't want her in our business, you know. But I, I was simply to ask my auntie what that means. Oh, and anyway, a tattoo. What is a tattoo? You know, because I was young back then, so I don't know. We do tattoos things, but y'all think everything has to do with church. But I didn't even do this stuff when I was younger, so it's not foreign. It's just foreign to you because you meet people like you. So yeah, I seem weird. No, but I like my weird. I like my fly. I like my weird. I'm comfortable where I'm at. I like me. I like me. But I ain't promising nobody no lie because I ain't tattooing nothing. And if it takes for me to have to tattoo anything to prove to you, baby, you better take your walking papers now. Because now they ain't having me. And I don't want you tattooing my name on your body. No, thank you. We ain't gonna go to the spiritual side of that so we can find out what that means and what that understands. We gonna stay right here. We gonna stay right here in this little zone right here without breaking that into the whole thing. This is just me personally, right there. That's my feelings about the whole getting all tatted for me. I didn't say you couldn't have tattoos. God's word said you can't. But me personally, I did not say that. What I said is I don't want no man tattooing his body to prove nothing to me. Especially don't put my name there. And I don't feel that that is something that I have to do. Now, if a person said, I just love you and I want to get your name, listen to what I'm saying. There's two different, it's a discrepancy here. There's two different ways of doing this. If he says, like I told y'all, the guy, I think the boy was from Texas, and I had to be on a call with him day and night so he could make sure that because we was in a long distance communication there, I that somehow I had to, plant the phone to me. Okay? Now him, on the other hand, so you'll know that I'm not condemning anybody. He had tattoos everywhere. Now he didn't have them on his face, but his complexion and actually, I must say, he didn't make me uncomfortable because the way his tattoos were, it actually blended mostly. He wasn't my complexion. He was lighter than me. However, his tattoos blended in with his color in a figurative way. That it wasn't a disturbing process, and it wasn't something that I'm glaring at and just slapping me in my face like this big black thing over your neck and something like that. No, I really, and that's not common for me. I thought he was pretty sexy. I just wouldn't tell him that. But I actually thought it, okay, brother. And I was like, okay, well, God must be doing something a little bit. And then God was like, don't go too far with that. But it opened me up to a little to understand because he had tattoos before me. So what you want me to do? Scrub him off? I can't scrub him off, God. You know how they do that bird that they be finding. You know that with that Dawn commercial, they get that bird with the oil. You can't do that to people. You can't do that to people. But y'all, wait a minute. Y'all know I'm not gonna lie. So I'm telling you how I really feel about things. Okay. So some people I have, eh, when it comes to certain things, yeah. Mm-mm. But really, I did. I really thought he was in. There was a army guy that moved next door to my daughter. We briefly met, but I'm gonna tell y'all something. Totally honest. I did not even know what he looked like. No, serious. See his whole physical body, y'all. See the man move in next door. I promise you. I can't promise, but this is no lie. Not until the day I don't know. My daughter just jumped up one morning. We was getting ready to move, and the stuff that they had supposed to be whatever with the truck and everything and all that, y'all. It was so hilarious. And I almost fell out my own skin when, oh my God, my daughter is so bold. He had just moved in. I don't even think he was over there a month. I did see that he had a little girl briefly. I seen her mom and I seen the little girl run up the driveway to her daddy. Um, he and they just whatever, but I never paid any attention to his physique, to his face, no nothing. You know the first thing I saw? Ah! This is so crazy. The first thing I saw, y'all, was because he is in the military. I think he still is, unless he retired from the time we left or whatever. He's in the military, and he became that day. He became friends with my daughter's spouse, and I was like, OMG. So the whole time, because I saw, because my daughter was like, oh, I just went over there and knocked on the man's door because he got a big old truck. And I just asked him, ain't nothing hurt but to ask. And I was like, ask him what she was like to move. And I was like, well, what happened? Did you need money? Did you need my hair? You need some money or what? I was like, gonna get. She's like, no, ma, that wasn't what it was. It was something happened with the thing, whatever. We got time for that, so I just had to da 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 da. So I was like, oh my Lord Jesus. Ah! So here's how the whole thing just really like took from a big loop. But I could tell he was coming in the garage and I was talking to him on the phone. And y'all know I be talking to y'all, but I was talking to my daughter and I was just giving her the business. And I was like, I don't know what all this faking it till you make it is and all this right there. If you gonna splurge, you need to go ahead and get your grind until you can splurge. And and then you splurge and da 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 da. I was just going on and on. And my son-in-law had came through the garage door. It was funny. He had came through the garage though, and he said, "Yeah, my dukes. That's what I'm talking about. You talking to you talking? Yeah, oh my God. I don't know what God did, but the son-in-laws he picked for me, well, man, what I tell you, and I never. I mean, they done gave me nicknames, Pearl. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Pearl. Oh, wait. Madu. Um, the new guy. He Stella got her group. He called me Stella. I was like, oh my God. He would be in there talking to my daughter. And he would be like, I just have to say something to your mama. So she would just have to, you would have to say something. And when I come like to her room door or something, then he'll like, she's like, oh, don't get quiet. Now go ahead and tell my mama what you said. So they just like my personality because for me to be a woman of God, that's the first thing because she always tell them like, oh, you don't know my mama. My mama, she don't play, and da 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 da. So when they do say something, if they not scared, because usually they meet bold, pretty bold men, but they do like they'll size me up first to try to see. I don't know, that might not go. Or that, but they just fall in love, and they just be like, I just got the greatest mother-in-law. But he always has to have something to say. And he was like, tell Stella. I said, I said, Stella? Stella sound like she's my Amy. I know it's what it's I was like, where's Stella? And he just went, he just flew the coop, y'all. He just went to pieces. I was like, you need to tell me, but you ain't never even heard my little voice before. And you call me Stella. What you trying to say? What you trying to say? God, man, I need to get my groove back. And he just burst out, y'all. He just and he was like, "Oh my God!" He was like, "Your mama is great." And he was like, "Oh my God, she tried to make me think that she was mean or whatever." She was like, "Yeah, she can make you laugh. You can just, I'm telling you, she ain't nothing to play with, though." But it was funny, y'all. Yeah, I mean, the names the names that they be oh, that's my niece, y'all. I was trying to see who was in there with my mama. So, ordinary love, y'all. We still on there. We still on there. Y'all know we gonna have a whole comedy section. Hey, baby, come help you. Why I gotta help you, ma'am? Your feet ain't but this big. Why are you walking all the way in here? You ain't but this big. I don't know. Rub your feet. Put them things up on the line. Yeah. Hey, Lar, how y'all doing? Hey, you play too much. What you what? What's wrong? Nothing. I'm just saying to say hey and thank you. See y'all later. I believe that hurts. Well, you like your job? Hmm. It's easier than the last one, so I took it. All right. Mm-hmm. Cool. Fist bump. Okay. Love you. But y'all, it used to be so funny where um it was my son-in-law had came in and he came through the house before, but he had brought the man in with him because the man was like he bought the house next door, but he was like I guess he had told him how big the house that we were in was and everything or whatever. So the man he gave him a tour through the house, and I'm sitting over there in the corner with my grandkids, y'all. Oh Lord Jesus! And I'm just sitting down there keeping the kids out the way so they can go ahead and move the stuff on out the way or whatever. And Lord have mercy, y'all. That man came through that door. I almost slid all the way on. Look, my head went all the way down here. My grandbaby had a book. I said, "Oh, that devil." So you could you could see that like he blushed a little bit, but he was just looking at he was just like she just won't let me see her face. So remember he moved us from one house to the other. So what they did is transported me with the first batch of stuff because my daughter had her truck as well. She had an SUV. So we had got in there and I went on to the new house so they can go ahead and finish and do what they was doing there and then the kids could be out the way as well. So while I had the kids out of the way because was playing music for the kids and I was the one making sure everything was clean in the new house and ready to move in before they got back with the stuff and all that stuff. And by the time they had did everything, came back with the second load, I had already scrubbed everything and did everything or whatever to make sure everything was sanitized and clean. And I was in the kitchen, so it was like a walk-in pantry, and I had the cabinetry open or whatever. Y'all, it was so funny when I tell you he was observant. He was observant. You hear me? And when I thought my son was coming through the door, it wasn't him, it was the man. And I'm in the kitchen. I was stuck, y'all couldn't run. Was really wrong. I would have to dash across him to get to the thing. So I was like, oh Lord, at this point, I just want to go in the room. Just stand there to me. I don't know that he knew, but he actually brought my bed and everything in the house beyond. unbeknownst to him. And oh my God, y'all, I was like, oh no, 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 no. When my son said they go in the first bedroom up there by the street, I was like, oh no, 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 no. But don't worry, it's me. But I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So he came in like Mr. Hero and all that kind of stuff, y'all. And he was carrying this thing, but this one he had to deliver to my daughter's room. And at that point, I was, yeah, he was going towards the room with it, and I shot across the back of him and went flying down the hallway, y'all. But my what you call it was hurting, so I was trying to get back the other way. And oh my God, the first time I got stuck in the kitchen, I couldn't move. So I saw him when he came back out. I was stuck right there. I couldn't move. But he was paying attention and he was looking. He seen how I was putting the categorizing everything and putting everything in the cabinets and whatever. And then he looked at me again, and I tried to tilt my head to the side. So when he came right through there, whatever, I stood there because one of the girls had actually, she had jumped on, in his face, like one of the little girls. And I was like, no, don't do that. And he was like, no, it's okay. And da da da. So I had called her over to me. And at first, I kind of thought he thought that, oh my gosh, she's mean. Remember, he got a little girl. But I told her because we don't teach them to jump up and I know he's nice. At that point, he was a stranger, but he was a nice neighbor to help her move. But we still, he didn't know us and we didn't know him. So just understand it. So I was like, called my grandbaby over and I was telling her, and I said, don't do that. But I had told him, your mom said, y'all go back there where y'all room at. So, why they putting stuff in there, whatever. So y'all won't be in the way so they can hurry up because his. You want to say hey to your brother? I'm on the live. Hello, Lucy. Hello. You say hey. Buddy. Wait a minute. You can't hear us. Nah. Hello. Hola. You say how you doing? I'm fine. How you doing? You great? Set apart. I had a dream about you, but I'm on the live and I can't talk to you about it. But I've been picking up some stuff about you. Um, we'll talk about it. But other than that, you doing okay? Yeah, yeah. I love you. Keep your head up, okay? I see something, but I'm gonna wait and tell you about it. Well, actually, talked to Regine about it this morning because we both had dreams about some stuff that was going on or whatever. But just be encouraged because God working it out, all right? I love you. I know you ain't lost him. He ain't lost you either. All right. Huh? No, we speaking. All right. Here come on. Did you call Reggie yet? Okay. Y'all, I'm sorry. Look, this must be a very interesting live, huh? Because we ain't got to. Well, we got all these. but that's okay because these are people that I love. Um, keep my brother in prayers. But yeah, the whole thing or whatever. The first thing I noticed on this man, the whole time, now I'm explaining it to y'all this way, so you can see what was happening. The first time, and even then, I didn't like if I see him again, I wouldn't even know what he looked like. I would not. But if I see his leg, I would definitely be able to identify him. I'm telling y'all all that, and I did not. But when my daughter had him to come over to move her, and he came in with my son, I did not see his face. I was so busy trying to hide. I was so busy trying to hide. Oh my God, and it was so embarrassing. And I was like, okay. So when they was like, okay, the two men was gonna ride in his truck, and the girls was gonna ride in my daughter's HB. So look, y'all, everybody going one way. I hit the front door and went across the thing to run and get in the car before he could get out the door. And it was so funny because my daughter knows she was like, Mom, wait. That wasn't the funny part. What was funny? Because I tried to get out before he could make it through that garage. So y'all, and where the house is at, it's like they set up on a hill, right? So you know how you come out your garage and your car have this slant because we had to go. Can you imagine me trying to walk to get down that hill? Like, my daughter, I told y'all she do not care. She will laugh at you anywhere. So he got in the car and she was like, "Well, I saw that." So I had this I was looking like one of them Arab women or something. Y'all had this thing on my head or whatever. It's not that, but I had put my hair up in that thing, that body thing. What you call it? Not like the black lady be having, but the other lady, like the Arabians and stuff. And that's why I was like, oh my God. And what is going on? And when I got in the car, I pulled my hair down out the thing or whatever. And he was looking, he was paying attention. And I was sitting over there. I was like, yeah, he needs no pain, ball heat. Not just playing. But I had took the thing off or whatever. So I didn't think that he was gonna make that many trips in the house, y'all. So when I turned around and I looked that man in the face, I was so outdone, I didn't know what to do, okay? And I was like, okay, but the whole time he was tempted. But he was at the same time he was like, I don't know. Because, I don't really know what to but I mean, we got stuck face to face. We got stuck face to face and I literally had to stand there. And you could see his eyes jumping. I mean, he made it no secret. And he was looking me up and down. I was like, oh my God. If I could have went into a wall, y'all. If I could have went into a wall, I would have, y'all. Like, I was invisible. So he had came in the thing with the second trip or whatever, and I was in the kitchen. That's when I knew, like, oh my God, my back had started hurting because the stuff I was, whew, Jesus, and I had bent over on the counter. He had came through. By that time, I didn't even pay no attention. My back was hurting, and I had leaned over on the counter. Oh my gosh, he had an eye full when he came out of there, yo. No, I had on a long dress all the way down to my ankles, but I was bent over, not all, like somebody bent all the way. No, I was just leaning on the counter. like with my on my elbows or whatever to get my back to try to straighten out my back to get it because my back was hurting. I thought he was gone, and I startled him because I caught him when he came out the thing, and his eyes was like glued to me, and I read his whole thought. His whole thought just hit me right in the face. I was like, and I was like, oh my god, no, 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 no. So he was just like, you don't have to worry about it. It's not like that, or whatever. But I was like, so every time he came in, I kept trying to get out the way. I was kept disappearing through the house or whatever until then. But it's like you could tell, like you could see, like it was some sort of, and I think what it was is my son-in-law didn't want to be like, well, because if I introduce you to my mother-in-law, then if that don't work, it's gonna be like, or whatever. So I think kind of like that's what it ended up being when it came to them or whatever. But I could feel like every time, and it was so intensifying. But I think he probably did know Texas pretty well, and especially at the point of him being in the military like that. And I said that because it was several times that I could feel like he was yet so close to me, and God kept saying that he was because he couldn't find the last I think the last place that she had moved before she had left Texas. That's what had happened, and they had got off the you know. But the person online was like, "Oh, I did say that, didn't I?" That was what I had noticed. The first thing I noticed about that guy, out of all that traveling and connecting, doing that point that we did, was his tattoo. And then that's when I saw his face. I finally looked at his face when we was he was coming out that driveway. And my daughter got in the car. She said, "Ooh, woo, ain't he?" I was like, "Yes, he is." Just like that. And I was like, so me and her was talking or whatever. And it was so funny. And she was like, "Nah, my for real, you know what that is?" And I was like, I ain't go to the date part, but I'm saying he's cute. He was quite handsome, yes he is. But it was a little strange for me because that's the first thing that caught my attention was he had this big tattoo platted on his leg. And it was just like it just stood out like boom or whatever. So I was like, my first thought, that's why I'm telling y'all that. When my first thought when I was sitting there and I said, well Lord, at least it ain't on his face. That's what I'm saying, y'all. I was like, well, at least it's not on his face. So, and it did, but it was like, it was kind of weird because I don't know what it was. I can't remember what it was or whatever, but it stood out on his leg and he was coming down the thing on the driveway. But the rest of the time I spent running from the man, so I couldn't even tell y'all. No other than that, and the fact that with the way he was looking or whatever, because I went through the hallway and I was gonna turn around because he was taking the thing in there by himself, and it was this huge. Actually, it was a part of my fireplace, but it was going in that was going in their room because she had got the fireplace for me because I had been hollering about a fireplace. I want a fireplace in my room. Blah, 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 blah. So by me it was supposed to be finding out if I like Texas and I wanted to get a home there or whatever. So she was like, "Mom, that's why I told them stop buying stuff. Y'all have to let me figure out first, just or whatever." So anyway, she ended up putting it in her room, and he was taking it in there. So I was like, "That is heavy. Why he trying to take it by himself?" So someone said he trying to impress you. He trying to be all muscle man. But and I was like, "Okay, soldier boy." Okay. But I was sitting out there and I was like, I bet he probably was thinking to himself, now, what she did all that money. Oh God, I hope that man ain't on his face. But it was so hilarious because I spent all that time running. But the other guy that was in Texas, I didn't even let him know when I had got to Texas because at that point, and it's good because they stayed. I asked them that first in the first place, and they stayed like miles in Texas up there. But I was like, good. But then from everything, from what I seen before I even traveled there, when it came to Houston, uh-uh, it was a no. Okay? And I literally, before I left Florida, ooh, confirmation, I was scared because I was like, that just can't be. And then I started worried about my daughter. I started worried about my grandkids. She said, Mama, we ain't nowhere near now, Houston. She said, oh, no. I was like, okay. Ooh, Jesus, Lord, help me. But ordinary love. What is ordinary for you? I mean, is that something? And like I said, my big daddy had to got me with that one, and I spent uh, a little while trying to catch up with him when he kept saying, "Yeah, okay." He said, "All right, I'm gonna make you kiss that tattoo." But guess what, Mister Kiss that tattoo? Talk about tatted on somebody, and that's gonna let everybody know it belongs to you. Is that true? Because he definitely had a girlfriend. Mhm, Mr. Man. And he had a tattoo of her on him. So it all hit the fan when I got pregnant because I kept it like, and that what was happening because I kept seeing that girl. And I was doing his hair. And my aunt said she didn't like him. My aunt said, Mama, she laid eyes on. She said, I don't like him. So funny. And but he didn't give up. So what happened was because my aunt was in communication with which where he was going next door to, we had stayed in some condominiums or whatever. He was going next door. That was long years ago when I was a girl. Um, some condominiums, and his aunt stayed like the next one over from my aunt, and they was like friendly with each other and stuff. And so I guess that's where he was trying to get all his information from or whatnot. So you see, I wasn't having it with the whole chick thing that I kept seeing. So my cousin was in the midst of them because she was going out there with them and she was doing the smoking and drinking. But I didn't associate with the crowded, the group little thing because I didn't drink or smoke. So she had all the chit chatter. So that's how I found out who the girl was, and ended up being because he was dating her ever since they was in high school, sort of like a Christy and whatever boy name. What his name, Devin or something? What his name? What the boy? Devin. Okay, call the boy Devin. Oh Jesus, sorry, Devin. um, but it was something like that with him and her. And I used to see them like she be over there. She was like a tomboy, and they be going at it. They be literally like fighting. So I was like, mm-mm. So he just kept on. He was like, no, that's not what it is. And one day you'll understand or whatever. So I noticed she stopped showing up. That's when he finally wore me down. But she stopped showing up. She wasn't coming over there. She wasn't making no appearances. She wasn't because I made him wait the whole time. And whatever. So when I got pregnant, that's when she made her return. Like, yeah. And I was like, so little Miss Me I flipped the script on him. He came home one day. He wasn't living with. It was me and my cousin living together. We had a condominium together. Excuse me. And um, I flipped the script on him. Same thing he did. I had met, and why? And this is why y'all listen to what I'm saying, because a lot of stuff be funny, but if you really pay attention to what I'm saying, I told you I don't say nothing unless it's meaningful. I don't just yap. I don't just talk to be talking. And whenever I say something, it's in some ways that is a message that is prophetically driven. That is something that somebody needs, something that somebody's going through. That's why I say don't get distracted by it because it's a message in everything the way God used me in the way I'm saying. Okay. I started talking to a guy. I don't know. I forgot where I met the boy. Um, he was him and his dad had their own business, their own home, all this kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong, cause the same thing with what he didn't have. Not that day, not legal business. But anyway, um, but he was yes, his family was well, yeah, and he seen that he didn't like the process. So instead of the girl fighting with him, I was the one that pricked him at his heart because what she wouldn't do ended up being I did. So I didn't sleep with the person, but it was my birthday. And we were celebrating my birthday, and I invited the young man to my birthday party. And when the baby daddy showed up, oh, Jesus, he put a gun to my head. Yes, he did. He put a gun to my head. I said, "Oh, I thought you didn't care, Mr. Tattoo Kissing." So he had the baby had to flip the strip, honey. Yes, baby. Oh, after that day, I ain't had to worry about him no more with all that extra stuff that he had going on. Um, but he had it in him. He was just for the streets, y'all. He was just for the streets. He was for the streets, and it showed him that I was not playing with him, and I wasn't afraid to dismiss him. No, I ain't the cheating one, but I let him know I'm not afraid to dismiss you, sir. And if I even think you leaving here going to see that one or this one or even her, that's what it's gonna be. But he was one. I mean, he wasn't nothing to play with, and he carried that with him everywhere he went. So he decided he gonna bust up in my birthday. Me and the boy was just sitting on the stairs talking, y'all, and my cousin and everybody else was in there, or whatever, at the birthday party, or whatever. And he talking about, Nat, come here. I need to talk to you a little bit. Then he pulled me out to the side of the building or whatever. And he talking about, you think I won't? You think I won't? Or whatever. I was like, I don't know what you want and what you will, but I'm gonna tell you this because until you put it right here and you make it evident that we ain't with the messing around business, you have no rights here. So yeah, I'm carrying your baby, but nevertheless, no, I won't cross the line with the boy. He already knew that when he met me. But to let you know, I will be ready to move on at any time if you wants to cut up. That's just period. And he put the gun to my head and he was like, "You don't think I will? I and you not no, you don't you can't talk to nobody. You carry my firstborn and blah 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 and this and that or whatever." And I was like, whatever. He said, "Nat, you better take me serious. 'Cause I will put this thing on you." You know what we talk about. whatever. And I was like, boy, don't be coming here threatening me with no weapons. I told y'all my auntie told me she did not like him. That's because she already knew what was going on in the first place with them and their family and stuff like that because they was really young. We was all really young at that point. So that's why I said it does not matter. All of these things that's psychology. That's reverse psychology in some manners, in some ways. Now, if a person just desires that they like tattoos and things like that, and that is something that they want to do as because tattoos don't have nothing to do with remembering nobody. The memory of that person, whether it's a dead person or whoever, is based upon the thought, them being in your heart forever. You hear me? Cause just like babies and all sex and all that ain't gonna keep no man, ain't no him putting no tattoo on you, and he can cover that up. Just like that ring be on his finger. You know how to take that off too and put it back on before you get home until you get to slipping. And then you catch him one day and you be over there like, well, baby, where your ring at? Oh, baby, I was just out and I ain't want it because I was oh, what you say? So y'all be so busy trying to make things stick in y'all generation that it sounds stupid. It really do. And it really does it really make sense before it even leaves your mouth. And y'all the ones that be thinking y'all be giving people sound advice. Since when? And I'm sure if he got tattoos before you, with you, he gonna get them after you. Not even history mean loyalty, as you can see. Some folks been married 30 and 40 years and now they getting divorces. So it's just like at some point you have to be real with yourself. And that's what it means about being intentional. I heard the guy say that women are more aggressive in dating than men. And he said, wait a minute, hold on before y'all start, in the comments and all that. I just want to explain it myself. It was funny for me because his it was funny for me because he was trying to keep from laughing the whole time he was doing that video because he knew they were gonna come for him in the comments. But and I was already at it so when he first opened his mouth about it. But I heard him out. I heard him out. I stayed to hear him out. I ain't even go to the comments. I ain't even go to the comments, y'all. I sure didn't. I sure didn't. But here it is. He said that now, as opposed to earlier in life, that women used to um just go with the flow and whatever man think of, wait until he ready and all that kind of stuff. And he was just saying, well, nowadays, women on a whole nother way. Wait, let me find it, y'all, because I'm gonna let him tell y'all, because I don't want to go messing up his. Don't worry, I got it right here. I have it right here. Excuse me. I don't have a cold in it, but there it is. I think this is it.
Sedated. Hear me out. And before y'all go crashing out in the women are more aggressive than men when it comes to dating. Hear me out. And before y'all go crashing out in the comments, just listen to me for a second. Men, we were the hunters, we were the pursuers. We set the pace, we set the commitment. Now, roles
Oh,
are reversed completely. A woman is very intentional with what she wants, and her standards are set. Women now are moving more intentional to the point where they know what their boundaries are, they know what their standards are, they know what needs they want met. And at the same token, whatever man that they come in contact with, they want you to have your shit figured out as well. There's nothing wrong with that shit. They're
oh,
sexy as fuck.
hey, All right. Wait, wait.
Nothing
See.
wrong with it. But hear me out.
Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Oh.
With that said,
Ooh. See, that's why I should listen. I so apologize. I should listen at the whole thing before even playing it. But I never heard him cuss like that. Cause he usually he's talking about God. So anyway, the part that I heard, and I don't know if y'all heard that part as well, but the part that I heard, he was talking about how women. That's the part that I left off on. All the cussing I did not hear. Um, that women expect you to have your stuff together, and now it's a different, it's a different territory. Now I'm gonna have to take my whole video down. Boy, what's your name, chicken wing head? Now I gotta take down my video because you cussing. No, but oh man, just ruined it. But anyway, here's the thing: women have been accustomed to what they were taught for years and years. Now women are more prone to understanding what they've been through in life and breaking those systematic cycles which were in we were taught to believe we have to remain and have a certain standard when it comes when it is pertaining to men, and we have to tolerate this and we have to tolerate that in order for us to be deemed as a valuable partner, as a valuable mate. Well, now we as women understand it's not just about modernizing. It's not just about today's women because I still fit in today's women. I am today, I am present, and I am a woman. So it throughout the years to understand by looking at even some of the relationships of our mothers and grandmothers and things. And there were strips that we draw, and there were also things that we saw. Some of us were wise enough to see the weaknesses in that. And just like I said, with my thing, where as to when I was a little girl, my petition to the Lord was me watching what Little House on the Prairie, and it was it wasn't Wonder Woman. It was another show. It was another show by way of the woman's husband had passed, and I don't know where all this flames come from. The woman's husband had passed, and she was crying, and she was talking to one of the ladies in the movie, and she was saying that she don't know where to begin. Her husband was the breadwinner. He was the one that made sure everything was running. He took care of her and her family. They've been together since they were in school, very early in school, as they did back then. And I remember a sequence of those things coming on when we had just got cable and stuff. And my grandmother often watched, she loved it, Little House on the Prairie, Michael Landon, whatever, because the type of man he was and all that kind of stuff with his wife and children and stuff like that. And upon me seeing that, it was something that I grasped as a little girl that I had said that God, I pray that the husband that you blessed me with, that we're able to live out our days together. And it's an enjoyable thing. But yet, in the same, I don't want to be one of those women. I don't want to be like her. That if something, unfortunately, God forbid, was to happen to him, that I can't start my life over. I can't move on with my life. I don't want to be stuck in a predicament like that. That without him, I feel like I can't make it in life. So as I got older, I began to understand a lot of things. because I often would see that how hard it is when a woman is, and it's not to say that you somehow um, don't value a man in his place or him being the provider. Um, that's all good and well. Because a woman has standards does not make her be any less um, willing to allow that man to lead. The problem with the leading part is many men don't give her something. Because more than none that men do not understand. They still haven't gravitated to this yet. They often monopolize that because they just set in their ways with that way of thinking. Many of them that if a woman has her own or she's making such and such income, and now you got this modern day men, was this was sepulchre of them that used to be, which now I'm seeing this kind of more than none has been a switcheroo because it had came out with this group of men, they having this whole table to chair talk thing or whatever, and they start saying they don't want to date women who don't have. I think that's when I was on Instagram. Food confirmation. They don't want to date women who don't have careers and blah blah blah. Da, da, da. We don't do that no more. And he started saying all these little nasty things. Like, yeah, if I work, you work too. I don't want a woman that, they had all these old superficial stuff that they was coming at or whatever in the chatterbox and going on. So one of them got mad at me because I definitely said something. I did. And guess what? When I said what I said, you want to know what happened? The same one ended up on the internet publicly, humiliating situation. Same exact thing that I said in the comments. He had to come back because when that hit the fan before the public in front of everybody, I went right up under his status and said, keep your head up because things happen in life and everything's a lesson. Just keep going forward. I'll be praying for you. He had to turn right round and say, I remember what you said. But that young man was so mad. He did not like what I said. But later on, he found if he had to listen to the wisdom, and I didn't say anything bad, but I just gave them, as a woman, wisdom from the conversation that they were having. And guess what? It wasn't just me. There were other women. But you know how y'all do it when it's church folks, you know, or whatever. Not that they really, if I don't know if they knew that was I was a church woman or what, but I fueled his anger or whatever. All the other people was coming up under there. The comment had got a whole load of attention, and they was coming up under there saying they agree, and they were saying the same thing. That part. So maybe that was his problem. I don't know. But he ended up and he ended up saying, I apologize, and I do remember because if I had to listen to what you said, this might not have happened. And I just told him it is all good, and I understand very well. But like I said, I will keep you in my prayers. I didn't get angry. I didn't clap back. No, nothing. But I seen it coming. Just as sure as he did it, I saw it coming. That's why I kind of refrain from communicating with people in the content and stuff because I understand how the way God is about some of us. And a lot of these people They don't have the fear of God anymore. They don't have a reverence for God anymore. And they quick to slap off at the mouth. And they don't understand just how detrimental that could be. Because God gonna whoop their tail. Eventually, yeah. And the first thing they start hollering about, because these old people put that out there, and that's like I said, I'm not bringing it in my conversation. But ordinary love, being or having an understanding of allowing somebody to be their authentic self with you. Ordinary love is the display because y'all say it's different love languages, okay? But however they convey love and they express love to you, to understand that that is. And by the way, you can say that if it is for them to get a tattoo, like I said, if that's what they feel. I can't really go there with y'all because I can't go against what God says. All right. Nevertheless, to each you and God in His own. Okay. Leave me out of it. I don't want to mad at me. But okay. um, and the way it was put there. But to try to throw it off and say, well, I'll do that to prove to you that it belongs to you, that don't mean somebody get a tattoo don't bit no belong, they belong, say they belong to you. Because spiritually nor physically, that is a lie. Even you married to that person, you should know that should be a lie, Gross, but it's a lot of cheating, tattoo wearing, muscle building, flap chested, big belly, look like they 9 months pregnant men and women out here with people's names and everything strolled all over them. They obviously don't belong to them. Whatever message you send and talk about, they belong to you. Because obviously, if memory is what we hold of those, if you getting a tattoo for that purpose, and it's you held in it in your memory, which would be your heart. The moment temptation sets in and drives you, and this is the thing about people for me, ain't no way in the devil in all the hells that was committed. I don't care that a man, a woman leave from where they are, either sneak out the side of the bed, from the bed with you going to work or whatever, and they find it within their member, within their heart, within their mind, that they wants to go and cheat on you. They had plenty of opportunity before they got to that point. Whether it's closing the tab, whether it was blocking the person, whether it was the whole night, but they still chose. Don't go blaming it on the rain and the retrograde and all the comments and all of that. It was his or her sound decision to take that leap. And making excuses for a person who decide they want to cheat on you and shed dummy tears after that ain't never no good. Because Cardi P, oh God, Lord, well maybe God made me put it that way. Oh Jesus, but she is prime example of all that yapping and act like she was gonna make him work to get back in there. And what did he keep doing? Because she kept allowing to come back and to come back and to come back. And then you end up with babies and then the babies outside of the babies and then the babies back over here. And all because number one go the rule for me. If I encountered with you and you already made it known that you wanted to be in a relationship with me, a committed relationship with me, or whatever the case may be, you decide to take your wandering tail off and go get a baby for somebody, baby, you just cut the strings forever. forever, ever, ever, ever. I don't care if your mama cried rivers all the way to the river Euphrates. I ain't coming back. And whoever the chick that you went and got the baby from, whatever you do, that's your business. But I ain't stepmom to nobody child that you done went and left me and went out there and got a baby. I don't even care if we married. Don't even think that it's gonna happen. Nope. God help me now. God help me now. I might as well just stay single. That's why I'm slow about it. So y'all don't be understanding what man. It's just some things for me. And that's my boundaries. That's beyond boundaries for me. And I've always been like that. Always. My child's father knew. He knew that. See, this is what the women outside didn't know. So I told him to go sow his grow oats. But the promise that we made before God, if he wanted us to be together, he already knew. He foreknew before he hit the door that if you or I end up having a baby outside of us, it's not coming back together. And he knew I meant what I said. So all the timekeeping that was going over there, they was just feed he was just feeding them what they because he liked playing the little games they were playing. And although the talebearers with their fairy tale falsely one sided whatever will obviously be saying, oh, this child, you try to play. What did he have to play when she sent him out there? I'm concentrating on raising my kids and doing what I need to do for the Lord. If it be the Lord's will, then we will. Other than that, okay. So it wasn't nothing for him to play. When I wanted to come out to play, I came out to play. When I didn't, I kept my baby still there. Just period. And see, that's the problem. People get saved and people think they be getting advice to other people, but they somehow miss the real of it. That's my thing. How you gonna come telling me something but you can't keep it real? You can't be real with how those things transpire and those things happen, and you want to now put on a clergy collar, a suit, uh, 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 $1 million tag or something, talk about you a preacher and all that, acting like you ain't never did nothing wrong. You ain't never seen. You ain't never went through. You ain't never. Oh, child, please get out of here. Get out of here. Cause that's the whole thing. These people ain't following nobody who they feel that can't relate to them in the first place. So don't come over here and be acting like, oh, you all Puff Daddy and all that. As we can see, whatever skeleton still falling out that closet. And look like he can't stop him from falling. I mean, God, dog. But nevertheless, because it ain't no whatever, because we have to understand, hey, any given day, honey, I don't fix my mouth to be picking at or talk about nobody. Okay? Baby, I don't want it. Whatever going on, let it stay over there. Mm-mm. I had enough problems of my own. I don't need to be adding nothing else to it. So it went past whatever because God had a nice little sweet thing the way He had put it to me before I even got on here. But yes, to understand that none of this stuff makes anybody or any more attracted to you or any less attracted to you. A person that's gonna come to you and be real with you and understand who you are and all this table stuff y'all be talking about. But the whole thing, like I said, establishing uh, the intentions of whatever they coming in your life for. Okay? And y'all building from there, that foundation. So that's going to determine a whole lot right there into where it's headed and where it's going. And it's not to say that people can't make mistakes. That people don't stay together, that's those people. I done seen it happen. I done counseled some of them people, and they done stayed together as well. But as for me, and I mean, I'm really, yeah, Don't come running back doing no U-turns and no way. You better do a whole donut spin and take your behind over there off that off the side of the road, wherever else you need to go, honey. But don't be spinning no block around here talk about oh, well, I just wasn't ready, so I decided I was gonna go be with somebody else, and it just happened, and she just popped up with a baby and all that, and all this kind of stuff. So therefore, I just, and but my heart ain't set right, so I just decided, I'll help her out with the baby and all that. But me and you gon' y- n- no, we not. No, we're not. No, we're not. So you find out how you go be a daddy to that baby and all that. But I just mean what I mean. Now, people who had children before I even entered the picture, whatever, that's no problem. I'm talking about a Negro who know darn well, but because either you saved or you a preacher or some along the line where people got in their head and was talking to him, you still clubbing, you this, that, whatever, da 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 da. Da. You know how I go. And then it deters you. I don't care what lesson you had to learn. Well, make sure you learn it well. Because this one, what you said, missed opportunity or whatever the case may be, I don't care what y'all call it. But it's missed on my behalf. Because mm-mm, 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 no, no. That's just something they're gonna have to figure out on their own. And that's just it. That's why I say this is the dangers of the other side of that divination. Because when you hear, oh, it's gonna work out with y'all, and because this is a destiny, this is what it's called, and all this kind of stuff, and you mess around and pop up, and you just got your heart all straight. Well, that's why I said I'd rather hear from the horse's mouth. Bump third parties, because they'll run you smack dab into a steel door and still be sitting up there lying to you and everybody else. You better make sure. Because truth be told, they don't know whose spirits they picking up. They don't know when you go get a reading that that's exactly who they talking about. And they can't, they have no proof of that. And spirits do lie and they can lie. And that's what Satan does. And if it was so on the own and everybody can predict so well, I wouldn't ended up pregnant for somebody God told me to properly disconnect completely. So if God let me know, no, you're not gonna test those grounds. You're not messing around with those divination people, and you gonna listen to what they say. When I told you not to go back, I told you to sever your relationship with that person completely. So that's why I say when I state something, I know exactly what I'm talking about. I ain't pulling nothing out no hat. It's something I had to experience, and just like Jacob with that limp. That's something he'll never forget and always with him. Just like Paul with the thorn in the flesh, that is exactly what happened with me and that baby. Because no matter who I marry, no matter what, no what, I don't have no thoughts of that got their ex, but I will always have to live with the fact that I lost that baby because my baby gonna ever be in my heart. So had I stayed on the path that God had given me instead of listening to some jackleg, wiggle leg, con, pulling all these messages and thoughts I got there air and all of that was about to cost me. When I know what I had prayed and I know what I had talked to God and I had promised God, yes, it's just that important. It's just that dangerous. I ain't just not knowing about no husband. I told you I've been waiting on this promise to be fulfilled from what God is doing for over 20 years. And I ain't know nothing about no goddamn divination. Shoot, I ain't even know preaching was divination at this point. So just like I said, I mean, you have to, with God, use your wisdom and discernment. 'Cause as I see people following this intuition stuff, y'all get messed up over and over and over again. Same thing I did. That's why I am so passionate about it. Because me trying what I tried, thinking I was going, no, I was not in church. At that point, like I said, I felt like I was tired of waiting on God. Went to pull a Sarah and a Sarah and what his name, Abraham, and made an Ishmael and just blessed God because I kind of felt that either my husband was gonna have no kids or no children or one child and probably desire another. So you see what I mean? And to go all this time, my baby is 20 some years old and ain't early 20 something. But nevertheless, that's starting all over again. So to do that and then meet a spouse, not to say that God wouldn't have sent him and he would have accepted and said, well, I love you and the baby. I've had that happening all during the course of my life, but this is talking about the promise and where which God have for each and every one of us as far as individuality